I have 3 children, and my husband, of course. Rosemary is 4. She's neurotypical. No difficulty with Rosemary. Lucy is 8. She has autism spectrum and ADHD. And Avery is almost 11. He's autism spectrum and ADHD. He's more severely affected than Lucy is. He has quite a few behavioral difficulties, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
Lucy is almost quite on the Asperger's end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Whereas Avery has the behavioral difficulties, he has the communication difficulties, he has the social difficulties,
Yeah.
He has the delays in the cognition, the thinking, whereas Lucy is more quirky.
Right.
She's a little flighty. She definitely has the difficulties with social interaction, but she's very bright.
Right.
Not that Avery's not bright. He's just not able to communicate.
Yeah.
So Avery was diagnosed April 1st of 2007. I remember the exact date because it was April Fool's. Avery was not quite 3 when he was diagnosed, and we had a 4-month-old Lucy, and we found out Avery is on the autism spectrum, and we're going to have this whole other thing to learn about
Yeah.
in addition to having a newborn at home. Lucy was diagnosed right around age 2 because we kind of had our eyes out for it,
Right.
and we had her evaluated, and we found out she was also on the autism spectrum. He never quite got the language that he was supposed to get. And then when he would acquire language, we'd not hear that word again,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd say mama once, and then it's like, okay, when are you going to say it again, buddy?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, he didn't. He did have behaviors then. He wouldn't interact with other children. He did not have the eye contact. He didn't have the language. He had some of the symptoms, like the toe walking and the hand flapping.
Right.
But we just thought, well, maybe he's just a boy and he's developing late. While I was pregnant with Lucy, my midwife took one look at Avery and said, oh, no, he is delayed. You need to have him evaluated by the early intervention people right away. So that's what we ended up doing. Having Avery diagnosed when he was 3, you kind of always are paranoid and keep your eyes out for if your next child is developing normally. It's like, oh, hey, she should be talking by now.
Yeah.
Why isn't she talking? We had her evaluated early. We knew some of the process to who to call and have her checked out, that sort of thing. And we were all already involved in early intervention, so we had her evaluated by the same early intervention people, and they said, oh yeah, she definitely has delays. I don't think her official diagnosis came until she was around 5 or so.
Right.
But we knew she had delays. We just didn't take her to the psychiatrist at that time, but she was already in earlier intervention for the delays that they documented.
Right.
Yes. It's kind of fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
And doing what's best for your child at that appropriate time. As far as learning to care for your child with special needs, there's not a book.
Right.
There's not, what to expect the toddler years for the autism spectrum child.
Right.
It's nothing. It's depending a lot on other parents that have been through this before, that have older children that may have similar behaviors. It's listening a lot to the school because they have a lot of experience with a child with difficult behaviors and the autism spectrum. You just got to do what's best for your child. I mean, like for instance, most typical children, they're going to potty train, 2, 3, 4 years old.
Right.
Avery, he didn't care. And there's nothing that you can use to motivate him like you would maybe a neurotypical child.
Right.
Sticker chart or candy or Avery doesn't have that internal motivator.
Right.
So it's like you really just have to do what's best for the child and follow the child's lead.